The thing about Bob Iger,
Mhm.
there's so many things. One is that, listen, we were talking about how we had one of BO senior intern, Christopher, sitting in for you.
Mhm.
We have a succession plan.
Yes. Yep.
Bob Iger did not have a succession plan.
Nope.
He chose Bob Chapstick. He tried to throw Bob Chapstick under the bus,
Mhm.
then came back as the triumphant hero
Right.
and only made things worse,
Right.
right? I mean, we're praying, we were wishing for the days of Bob Chapstick when these movies still made some form of money,
Right. Right.
and now he's going out there making comments, throwing his creatives under the bus.
Yes. Saying that the
Now,
movies are just bad because there weren't
saying
enough executives on set at the Marvels.
which is
Yeah.
always the problem.
Always a
Okay, so
problem. Not enough
let's talk about
seats.
that point first, and then we'll talk about him saying the message over story thing.
Mhm.
Because because the director of Captain Marvel, that was a direct shot at her.
Yes.
Nia DaCosta, right?
Yes.
That's who it was,
That
right?
was yes, that's who Iger was taking a shot at.
And yet, you don't hear Peyton Reed's name being mentioned, who did
Director of
Quantumania.
Quantumania. Yep.
And I'm not throwing him under the bus because I don't wanna throw creatives on the bus, but the problem with this whole thing is that you can't blame the, w what is that term when it's something breaks the camel's back? Um,
Don't blame the camel?
no, no, it's a piece of hay or whatever that breaks the camel's back. You know what I'm talking
Okay.
about?
Sure. I've never lived in a land where there camels are necessary.
No,
I'm from the city. I'm a coastal elite.
but you can't blame the piece of hay that breaks the camel's back
Got it. Got it.
when it is a haystack, right? The
Mm.
haystack was all these movies, Eternals, Quantumania, Doctor Strange, all these movies that were low quality that people started to turn on,
Love and
right?
Thunder. Sure. All the
Love
DC
and Thunder.
movies, which do affect the Marvel movies as well.
Yes, and so when those things all accumulate, there's gonna be a tipping point, and
Mhm.
like we said, if they would have swapped, then this would have been Quantumania, and
Yep.
then Peyton Reed would have been in the sights. So, you can't you can't do that as a person who is running a company and wants creative people to work for you,
Right.
right? And that's the problem with all these guys, and it's the problem that we've had for years is that these people who run these companies don't like movies.
They don't like movies.
They don't like movies.
There was a day when horrible people ran movie studios. Horrible people,
Horrible people.
but they liked movies.
Yes.
The horrible people who run movie studios now, they don't even like movies.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they don't.
again, we've talked about it. David Zaslav and Iger, they could be selling. Listen, they could be CEOs of companies that sell the machine that broke up my kidney stone,
Mhm.
or they could run a company that makes movies. To them, they wouldn't care either way. Both of
Yeah.
those things are the same. Something that breaks up body rocks or something that puts movies on a movie screen. Those are all there's no difference between those to someone like a David Zaslav.
Yes.
They're all
And
products.
it's the straw that broke the camel's back. You've
It's the
heard that saying,
straw. I
right?
have heard the straw, yes.
So,
Again,
you
I'm
can't
in a lot I'm in a decent amount of pain now, so I am not gonna be recalling folksy sayings,
okay.
on a whim.
But again, like I'm saying, you can't blame the straw when a hay bale fell on your slate of movies,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So, that is offensive to me that he's doing that. And,
Mhm.
Nita Costa, she has every right to come out and say whatever she's gonna say, but she won't because there's no benefit for her to do
Right.
so,
Right,
right?
right,
He's still too powerful. She wants to work,
right,
and it puts her in a shitty situation. So I
right,
feel bad for her,
right.
okay? Then you have him coming out and saying, we went too message forward and we didn't focus on story, and that's a problem. And you know what? that is a problem because at any level of storytelling, you have to make a story good in order for people to want to experience it,
Sure.
right?
I mean,
It
I'm not
doesn't
sure how much that
matter.
affects the superhero box office decline of the last few years.
Well, but this is what he was saying. He's talking, and that is in reference to the kids' movies, I
The
believe,
kids'
is what
movies,
he's
sure.
trying to
Okay,
talk
so
about,
the
right?
Pixars or yeah.
But here's what I want to say about this is that
Mhm,
it doesn't matter what the messages are. It's the fact that there ever was a not focus on story. Because
mhm.
the problem with Marvels is it wasn't messages, it was the fact that it was all about interconnectivity and Easter eggs and stuff, and you didn't have a story. So
Sure.
story should have always been first. Like, the fact that he came out and said that like it's some sort of revelation, it's like, that should be on the whiteboard in every writer's room, every script writer's apartment,
Okay.
that you should make a good story and then people will get the message if the story is good and they like it and it makes sense, okay?
So
That is the problem.
so I think let's move off of the superheroes because I mean this is, replace Nolan as our dead horse or the superhero.
Well,
Uh
but we're not talking about we're just talking about what Iger is
sure,
saying.
sure.
Iger is saying stupid things. He's saying
Yes.
things that are not helping the company, and also he's a guy that left triumphantly and now he is flailing.
He's flailing. Well, I mean, the biggest flail, and I didn't get a chance to talk about this at all last week, um, is Wish. I mean, this movie,
Yes.
Disney's animated, and I guess it's not a princess, but it's a princess adjacent tale. It's a what a disaster this is. $41 million after 2 weekends, a 62% drop in its second weekend. And now you predicted this last weekend. Trolls Band Together in its third weekend finished ahead of Wish's second weekend.
Yes.
And I'm going to read you a little something. I got some boots on the ground reporting from a wannabe girl who took her child to see Trolls Band Together.
Mhm.
So this is the parent. Our listener writes, Trolls is garbage, and we were all dumber for having seen it, but name redacted, had fun. The wannabe baby had fun. The rat's been fed. And
Yes.
that's all that matters. And then some more follow up. There were tons of Wish promotional cups and popcorn tubs. We were not swayed, just got a small popcorn and cherry Coke. So there you go. Didn't get the promotional upcharges, but they did buy concessions, which is great. So great job there. And then in reference to the child, she stayed in her seat the whole time, didn't sing any of the songs after. So definitely less enthusiasm than Paw Patrol. So this child was a big fan of Paw Patrol, but we listened to the soundtrack on the drive home and she was into it.
Into the
So
Wish soundtrack?
no, this is all about Trolls Band Together.
Okay, okay, okay,
That was all in reference to Trolls Band Together.
okay, okay.
Um yeah, that's right. She said there were tons of Wish there weren't Trolls promotional items around. There was Wish promotional items
Okay, so
in the theater. So
this is
but here's the thing. That was a family that chose Trolls over Wish. The
yes,
child wanted Trolls. She did not want Wish.
and Wish is pacing behind Strange World right now.
Wow.
This thing is going over an absolute cliff.
Wow. Wow.
And
Wow.
we talked about this too. A lot of the reason with this and with these Disney movies is that taking little kids to the theater is a hassle.
Mhm.
And when you're already paying for Disney Plus, and listen, these are the tracks laid by Bob Iger. These are the
Yes.
greased tracks laid by Bob Iger.
Yeah.
That
Chat.
Chapstick got thrown on those tracks and tied
Yep.
to those tracks like a
Yep.
damsel in distress. And here's Iger with his mustache,
Yep.
twirling it like a
Yep.
dastardly villain.
Yep.
And these tracks go directly to Disney Plus, which these parents already have. And the
Mhm.
kids, whatever you say about Wish, worst movie since Chicken Little, blah, 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 whatever. Villain song was terrible. You plop your kid down in front of it, they'll eat it up.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Okay, but
Sure, someday kids will watch Wish on Disney Plus, but they did not want to. They were not inspired to go see it in a movie theater.
and that's the problem, is that you
Yep.
have to have product that kids will beg you and scream and
Right.
cry and pull your hair and hit you and slap you to
Yes.
make you take them there. And
Yes.
no kid was doing that for Wish.
No kid. No kid.
Was
Again, this
pulling their mom's hair and being like, "Wish, wish, wish."
no, this listen, I got boots on the ground reporting. This child was, we got to see trolls. We got to see trolls. I'm imagining she was screaming at some point, and she was not screaming to see Wish,
No.
and she was not screaming to buy the promotional merchandise that was there. This kid did not care. Did not care.